I don't see the Lakers getting out of the first round anymore. I know we've talked about it before and that this team could be trouble when they get into the playoffs and this, that, and the other thing. I don't think so anymore. Last night really sort of changed my mind. And I know it's stupid to make a decision like that off of one game, but the simple fact of the matter is they could get up to the 7th seed. And they could have to play OKC in the first round. And they're not beating OKC in a 7-game series. They have nobody that can match up with what OKC has. They just don't. It's the bottom line. They do not match up well with any of the top tier teams in either conference, to be completely honest with you. And it's the more I watched the last night's game, the more I realize that this team, unless everybody on their team is on point and playing great, this team just does not match up well against the best teams in the league right now. They wanted to go fast-paced against Oklahoma City last night. You can't go fast-paced. You got to make Oklahoma City play half-court basketball. You let Oklahoma City run up and down the court, they're going to dominate you like they did last night. Only 2 turnovers. You put Oklahoma City in half-court basketball, they turn over the ball a lot more. We talked about this.
But that's just a change in the style of play, and I mean, that's where D'Antoni's style is. He's not somebody who can adapt.
No, he wants to run and gun, and he wants to score over 100 points a game. And dude, I'm telling you, if you gave this Laker team a coach like a Doc Rivers, well, then, yeah, I'd sit here and tell you they got every shot in hell to go as far as they want to, because Doc's going to tell you, I don't care if we score 70 points in a game or 120. You don't let them break 90. That's what Doc's going to tell. That's a great defensive coach's philosophy. Don't ever let the team we're playing break 90 points. 89 or less. That's it. That's all they're allowed. So if you told me that you had a coach like Doc Rivers coaching this Lakers team, I'd feel differently. But you have Mike D'Antoni. He wants to score a lot of points. He believes he has the ability to coach up his team and the talent on his team to outscore people. And that's a load of crap, because you don't.
Listen, I'm still going to sit here and say that this team, it's loaded with talent. It really is. There's no other way for me to describe it. I mean, I look at it like last year in baseball, for example. You had a team like Anaheim. They were stacked. They just get Pujols. They have the hottest young rookie in the last 70, 80 years.
Pretty much ever.
In Mike Trout. Another great young second-year power hitter in Mark Trumbo. You went out and signed C.J. Wilson. Yeah. You already have an ace in Weaver. You have a bullpen. Your whole team is stacked. And then they underperformed all year.
Yeah.
And they ended up missing the playoffs. And Texas and Oakland got in.
Now, if you're trying to make a point for the Lakers making the playoffs, you're not doing a good job.
No, but what I'm saying is that I still, looking back at last year, no matter how bad a stretch the Angels were on, they were a team I didn't want to play. And that's the way I feel about this Laker team, is they're having a down year, but they're not a team you look at and say, I'm circling that game. I can't wait till we go there. That's an easy one. I'm not circling that game like I'm circling the Pistons.
Well,
or the 76ers. Or any of the New Orleans or the Bobcats.
But you're also saying you'd rather play them than play Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Miami, probably New York. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not as good. They're not a top tier team this year, and I don't think they're good enough to beat any of the top tier teams in a 7-game series. I just don't.
I'll disagree. I think if they can get a team like San Antonio that's got a little bit of age to them, and they could play with them for a couple games, they got a chance at an upset. And I'll tell you what, I'm still taking the Lakers over the Clippers in the playoffs. Now, maybe not in the regular season. I'll give the regular season this year to the Clippers. But it's still that I've talked about it all year long. It's that big brother, little brother syndrome. It's that uncomfortableness that the Clippers would have playing in the Staples Center for 7 games against the Lakers. And you want to sit here and say, well, the Clippers are obviously the better team. I would take the Lakers in that 7-game series over the Clippers. I would. That place is going to be packed nightly by more Lakers fans than Clippers fans. That's the Lakers building. And I'll tell you what, I know the Clippers don't want to face the Lakers in the playoffs.
I don't think they got out of the first round. And if they were going to play the Clippers, they'd have to get all the way up to the 5 seed, and that ain't happening. Or the 6. Or the 6.
6.
Who's the 4 in the West? Memphis. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember where that was at.
I'm going to say that if the Lakers can either end up in 8th and get San Antonio or end up in 6th, they got a chance in the first round, because if they can get up to 6 and play good, the Clippers, I think that's their best case scenario. If they can't and they can somehow get an 8 and they can play an aging San Antonio team, who, don't get me wrong, is fabulous. They're great. But I really think that the Lakers got a chance against. I'm not going to put them as a chance against Oklahoma City. I'm not going to say that. I think Oklahoma City is a better version of the Lakers because they're just younger at every position. They have Durant, who can match up with Kobe, score at will with him. You got Westbrook, who's a better point guard right now than Steve Nash is. You have Ibaka, who can just apparently take Dwight Howard out with one chop. And I think Oklahoma City is the only team that I would say that's definitely a first round out for the Lakers. I'm not going to say that about San Antonio or the Clippers. I'm just not. And you know me. I love the Spurs.
I actually am surprised that you're saying that you don't see the Spurs being able to take them out.
No, I can see them taking them out. I can see them taking them out. I can see the Spurs winning that series, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
I look at this team and it's just like you look at the Lakers, or the Clippers. They've got nobody that can match up with Chris Paul.
Yeah, but the last thing you want to do is give this team hope. The last thing you want to do is get the Lakers get in the playoff, and then Kobe Bryant says, "It's a new season." Nobody wants to win it.
New season or not a new season, it's not a new roster.
In the playoffs, nobody wants to win more than Kobe Bryant.
I don't care.
And I think
he's not going to drive. It's just not going to happen. They cannot run D'Antoni's system. They don't have the personnel for it. Even when Gasol comes back, if Kobe's 100% healthy, I mean, you're talking his shooting elbow is the elbow he left the game for yesterday. That's a big deal. They can't guard any point guard in the West that they're gonna have to go against. They don't have anybody on their team that can. No disrespect to Steve Nash. He can't guard Tony Parker, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. Can't guard any of them. None of them. And if he can't guard them,
he couldn't guard any of them 10 years ago either, though.
He at least was a little faster. He could stay in front of people.
That's been the knock on Steve Nash his entire career is the man's never played defense.